Okay. Yeah, to the live audience just joining us, Honorable Raphael Nakacinda will be speaking on the threats that have been issued against the former president, the leadership of the Patriotic Front, and our members. Honorable Nakacinda.
Right, thank you very much, and good morning to our viewers, wherever you're catching us from. The matter or the subject I'm going to address myself to this morning on behalf of Patriotic Front is so urgent that I couldn't wait for us to get back home. This is in relation to the continued emotional outbursts and threats that are coming from President Nakacinda. The other day, he, instead of undertaking what every Zambian expected of him to do, to come and be part of those heads of states that would come to attend the inauguration of the president of our sister country, Zimbabwe, he opted to go to prison and from the reports getting to try and paint or do some charity work there. Using that platform, we expected him to be giving a message of restoration and rehabilitation to some of our brothers and sisters that are in those correctional services. But instead he opted to use that occasion to start discussing President Edgar, even going to an extent of suggesting things that are not true about his detention at some point. But further on, yesterday, I think the Zambian people and all of us, were shocked at his continued, threats against the former president, as well as the leadership and the membership of Patriotic Front, where he was using words like, "Tizachinja mingalato." When you play or dance in this direction, we'll also dance the other direction, and in the night will come and, wring your neck. We don't expect a president who understands that, first of all, for him to ascend to that office is purely by the discretion of the Zambian people and a great privilege, not a right. And that privilege is limited in terms of tenure of office. That office is expected that those that are ushered into that office by way of a vote will have a servant leadership type of attitude other than a boss or indeed a dictator. He has exhibited from the onset dictatorial tendencies, and clearly he keeps on saying things to prepare a platform for wanting to make it difficult for those of us in opposition to function on behalf of the Zambian people in providing checks and balances. He has always called all of us, particularly in Patriotic Front, as thugs. And now he's saying he's going to start arresting us for as long as we begin to regroup. I want to help Mr. Nakacinda understand that we have never disintegrated. That is a figment of his imagination. We have always remained united. And the aspect of regrouping is basically just readjusting on how we're going to, function and the organization, structure of the party. Otherwise, we remain united, and we're going to continue to provide checks and balances on behalf of the Zambian people. And I also want to ask the Zambian people, I think this gentleman, the president we have in Zambia, requires prayers. Some of the things he's saying, his conduct, suggests that there is need for divine intervention in his personal life and also in his office, looking at the fact that he seems to be never learning. We expected that 2 years down the line after becoming president, you'll have understood statecraft and the principles of governance, but far from it. He's still behaving as if he's at his farm, or indeed he's still not even in opposition, because even the way you conduct yourself in opposition, you don't conduct yourself in a destructive manner. All of us are called upon to do what we do constructively in national building, not as destructive as the president has been. So I think Mr. Nakacinda Hichilema needs to come out of his bubble, where he believes that he's like a demigod, or he has absolute authority, and therefore he can be threatening citizens, at any given time. The authority lies, and power lies in the people, not you as an individual. So stop this business of wanting to threaten citizens. You are actually courting trouble. The sentiments that you are issuing are actually courting trouble, because as a president you can't be proposing violence. In the end, the one that will suffer is not any of us, is yourself, because you are pitching yourself against the Zambian people. Why? Because Zambians don't approve violence. Zambians don't approve dictators or dictatorship. Zambians don't approve arrogance. Zambians approve humility, approve love against hatred. And we thought we could just respond to you and tell you your hate speech, proposal of violence is unacceptable. And we as Patriotic Front, we are not intimidated, neither are we going to be cowed by you. We have had people who have fought against even more brutal regimes than yourself. Your brutality is by far anything that can threaten anybody. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Yeah, before you go, I think there have been a lot of concerns, especially around the statement that President Nakacinda Hichilema issued at the Kanyama rally against the former president, and in his mind, and what he is going to do, how he will not allow it.
Well, first of all, President Lungu enjoys the same rights and freedoms enshrined in the Constitution, just like Mr. Nakacinda Hichilema. The business and talk about Alebwele is basically in his mind. And President Lungu hasn't said to anybody that he would want to exercise that right of freedom yet. But because obviously we've seen clearly that he's so afraid of President Lungu, he keeps on issuing all these threats against his person, against his family. And as we speak now, we've been zooming from yesterday, that just the mere fact that he saw President Lungu in Zimbabwe, highly celebrated. We all were witnesses to the fact that from the time he got into Zimbabwe, into the venue for the inauguration, the Zimbabwean people appreciate his leadership and his contribution, obviously, not only in a static level, continental level, and global level. And it just cheesed off our president. And he issued instructions yesterday that the police must find something. As we speak now, the former First Lady has actually received a call-out. He has given instructions that she should be arrested, and some family members of the former president. This has been the tricks and antics that Mr. Nakacinda Hichilema has been using. If, for example, today acting President Given Oinda speaks on behalf of the party on a particular matter, and the Zambian people are receptive to the message, he'll be giving instruction, can you go and arrest? If Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba says something that basically is in the interest of the Zambian people and are receptive, go and arrest. So these arrests, trick and method, we have seen it being used during counter days, it never worked. It was used during MMD days, it never worked. Even us as PF, there are moments that such activities were undertaken, it never worked. And they will not work under UPND. And I can tell Mr. Nakacinda Hichilema that the police are even tired, including your tribal cabal within the police. They are tired of unprofessional instructions. Instructions that you're giving them that are causing them to conduct themselves in an unprofessional manner. So, ama options yaba kaine na yapua. So these are basically antics of a very desperate man. And we're saying, I think you need a retreat to reflect and pray, because the way you're going, you are actually causing trouble in Zambia for yourself and for your party.
You have just made a revelation that there is a call out for the former First Lady, Mama Esther Lungu. Just speak to that.
Because those are the instructions he gave yesterday as we were monitoring and zooming in terms of the activities. We are yet to confirm, obviously, whether that call out has been issued. But as far as we know, he gave instructions that you arrest, while President Lungu is still in Zimbabwe, arrest his wife. And I think we're planning to either execute that arrest today or tomorrow. So we're still trying to find out from the relevant stakeholders whether or not that call out has come out. And I think we'll be able to update the nation about it.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Nakacinda. Thank you.